On August 20th, 1989, Jose and Kitty Menendez were tragically murdered in their own home by their two sons, Lyle and Erik. This shocking event was the subject of Netflix's series Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story. As is common with Hollywood adaptations, some parts of the story are factual, while others are dramatized or fictionalized. Today we'll dive into the accuracy of the Netflix portrayal, examining what the series got right and where it took creative liberties. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment letting us know which crime stories you'd like to see us cover next. Let's break down the real facts behind this infamous true crime case. In the series, when the authorities first arrived at the Menendez home just hours after the murders, Lyle and Erik appeared distraught. They were so convincing that the police didn't even bother testing their hands for gunshot residue. Initially, the police suspected that the murders were linked to organized crime, possibly due to Jose's business connections at Live Entertainment Incorporated in Van Nuys. Early media reports even referred to the killings as gang-related, because both parents had been shot in the kneecaps, a detail often associated with mob-style executions. For instance, the LA Times cited sources suggesting that two hitmen were responsible, declaring that it was a clear message from the mafia. This serves as a reminder that not everything reported in the news is always accurate. Another noteworthy scene from the show involves Lyle and Erik arriving an hour late to their parents' funeral. Lyle takes the stage to give the final eulogy, playing Milli Vanilli's song "Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You" during his speech. While this may seem exaggerated, this scene did happen almost exactly as portrayed. Lyle used that song during his emotional farewell. Another detail depicted in Monsters is Lyle's toupee. The series shows that his father, Jose, insisted that he wear it, and this is true. Lyle's mother, Kitty, even ripped the wig off during an argument, causing him great humiliation and pain. After the incident, the brothers discussed the abuse they experienced growing up, which was a key element in their defense later on. However, the show presents the idea that this argument led directly to the planning of the murders, which isn't entirely accurate. While the brothers did talk about escaping their parents' control, there's no evidence that this specific argument triggered their violent plot. In another part of the show, Erik is shown confessing to his therapist, Dr. Jerome Oziel, which also happens in real life. Overwhelmed with guilt, Erik sought help from Oziel and confessed to the crime. Oziel recorded these therapy sessions, and the tapes eventually became critical evidence in the case. The series also portrays Erik's earlier attempt to fictionalize his future crime in a play he wrote years before the murders. The script, Friends, describes a character who kills his parents to gain an inheritance, echoing eerie similarities to the real events. Erik's friend, Craig Signorelli, confirmed that the screenplay shared disturbing parallels with what would eventually unfold in reality. As the series progresses, the show delves into the allegations of abuse the brothers faced at the hands of their parents. In real life, both Lyle and Erik testified about being sexually and emotionally abused, which they claimed led them to kill their parents. While the show includes some of this, it leaves out certain pieces of evidence, such as nude photos of the brothers found in Kitty's handwriting, or Erik's letter to his cousin, detailing the abuse months before the murders. In a recent documentary, Menendez and Menudo, Boys Betrayed, 2023, a former member of the boy band Menudo, Roy Rossello, alleged that Jose Menendez also abused him, further adding weight to the claims of abuse in the family. Despite these allegations, the show introduces a controversial theory of incest between the brothers, which both Lyle and Erik have consistently denied. The legal proceedings depicted in Monsters follow the brothers' initial trial, where the defense argued that the abuse was the main motivation for the killings. Prosecutors, on the other hand, claimed the brothers were motivated by financial greed. Notably, Lyle's prosecutor, Pam Bozanich, even suggested that men couldn't be victims of sexual abuse, a problematic claim. The show portrays various other events, including Lyle's involvement in a failed escape plan, which is true in large part. In reality, Lyle had written down extensive notes about his escape ideas, which were eventually discovered and introduced as evidence in their retrial. Therapist Dr. Oziel, who recorded Erik's confession, also played a major role in the case. In real life, his mistress revealed the existence of the tapes to the police, and Oziel lost his license in 1997 due to violations of patient confidentiality. This backstory was partially left out of the series. In the final episodes of Monsters, the series touches on the brothers' earlier criminal behavior, including involvement in burglaries. Both Lyle and Erik were linked to various incidents, and their father covered up for them by returning stolen goods and writing checks to compensate for losses. The series also shows Erik and O.J. Simpson in adjacent prison cells. Surprisingly, this detail is based on real events. The two were jailed in the same facility after Simpson's arrest, and Erik gave him advice on how to handle his interactions in prison. Finally, Monsters concludes with the brothers' second trial, where they were retried together and ultimately convicted. Although the show dramatizes the juror's heart attack during deliberations, which led to a replacement juror, this too is based on fact, although it happened during the verdict phase, not sentencing. Contrary to how the show ends, the brothers were reunited in 2018 at the same prison, where they are now able to spend time together, and no further escape attempts have been reported. So what do you think? Were Lyle and Erik Menendez cold-blooded killers, or were they victims of their parents' abuse? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching this video. Before we end the video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.